Going on Jerome's, so Minnesota Vikings as well as the rest of the league have to get down to 53-man roosters by 3 p.m. Central Time today, and there's going to be a myriad of moves. You already talked about Hawkinson remaining on the PUP as well as Dalton Risner, Gabriel Murphy going on IR designated for return, but also on tops of cuts and waivers. I mean, there's going to be some mini trades going on, and also like this time, teams are announcing that players are going to be waived, and then all of a sudden you get a phone call that's like, "Hey, what's up? We'll give you a conditional 7th-round pick." That's what the Vikings are doing right now. Tom Pelissero, the Vikings plan to move on from nose tackle Jaquelin Roy, a 5th-round pick last year per source. He'll be traded or waived by today's deadline. So that's exactly what happens here. So someone within the Vikings organization, probably even Kwesi, just gets after Pelissero's like, "Hey, you up? Jaquelin going to be moved? Question mark?" Or something like that. So that's what the Vikings are putting out there right now. And kind of stinks because Jaquelin Roy can, he's here, he's there, he's every, where so much potential, man. But the pride of LSU, grew up in Baton Rouge. It was fantastic. Just completing that Skull SU pipeline, but he was an emerging defensive tackle, really started getting things going in terms of being a run stopper, and plus great first step at LSU in 2022, ended up being a 5th-round pick by the Vikings. You're like, okay, the Vikings on the D-line, we need to get back to having the meats and having a guy who has great upper body strength, a good first step, and potentially could be that penetrator as well as a passing down nose tackle. Going to be good to go, man. Also, youth football, just like Anthony Edwards, grew up as a Viking. It was kismet. It was meant to be. All right, but overall, like, it hasn't quite worked out. And yeah, it is only 1 year, but I mean, some 5th-round rookies don't even make their initial 53-man roster. It just sort of is what it is. The business is the business. But Jaquelin's rookie season, played in 12 games, 95 defensive snaps, 8 tackles, 3 stops, only 2 pressures, 0 sacks, and a 58.3 PFF grade. And in camp this year, sort of hot and cold, was sort of whatever in the preseason games as well. Like, he would make a splash play here, but then, get dump trucked by Zamir White for a touchdown against the Raiders. Happens, man. And frankly, look at the defensive line. Like, if it came down to numbers, like Levi Drake Rodriguez played better than Jaquelin. Same thing with Taki Taimani, Jalen Redmond, the pride of the UFL, as well as James Lynch. So I understand why Jaquelin's not making the 53. Now, with all this being said, maybe Jaquelin isn't traded for, and he goes through waivers and he clears, and the Vikings potentially bring him back to the practice squad. That's certainly within the realm of possibility. Right now, the Vikings are just advertising that Jaquelin is available. It's like, hey, can we get a conditional 6th or 7th-round pick? That's basically what's going on right now. But does Jaquelin still have some potential? Certainly. But if the Vikings can get something for him right now, I would feel just fine, especially since the Vikings probably only going to carry 5, maybe 6 on the 53, and those 5 spots are already spoken for if it's 5. Tillery, Phillips, Bullard, Jonah, and LDR. Right? And if it's 6, I would prefer Taki Taimani. And if it's 7, I prefer Jalen Redmond. If it's 8, James Lynch. Jaquelin's 9 of 9 right now. So it just sort of is what it is. But your thoughts are thoughts. Reportedly, from Tom Pelissero, Vikings are waiving defensive tackle Jaquelin Roy, potentially looking for a trade. Let us know your thoughts. Our thoughts, comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support the work? Put a little something in the Venmo. But until next time, Skull Production Value.